This is Kyle here from the Pawn Shop Pros, and we're looking at this Gen Aggro deck by David, also known as Dark Skies. And we'll start with the main board.
Alright, first, there are the 4 Arbor Elves. They're obviously here for mana acceleration because they have no other value in the world. But they are foil, and 2 of them are World Wake, so it's really cool. 4 Gyre Sage. Essentially for the same reason as Arbor Elf. Gyre Sage can also become a pretty scary creature though, with evolve triggers. I've had, I believe it was a 4/5 Gyre Sage, just crashing in like every turn. It's really cool.
Little baby goy.
Oh yeah. 4 Burning Tree Emissaries. It's essentially your like blitz play, I guess. This is like technically labeled as a Burning Tree Emissary deck just because you play the card. It's actually very synergistic with Falconwrath Aristocrat, and also you can do this into like a Flint of Boar or many other things, and it also evolves the Gyre Sage. And then with this, which is the Thunder Pig, which is what I call him because I think it's a sweet name, but with like Burning Tree into a Flint of Boar with a mountain, you can double evolve a Gyre Sage, and it gives you an extra 2 mana or a 3/4, like whichever way you want to look at it. So it's really good either way, especially on turn 3. If you turn 2 Gyre Sage, you can play this usually with haste. So you Burning Tree into this with haste, and then you have a 3/4 Gyre Sage and a 3/3 Thunder Pig. So it's really good. 3 Borderland Rangers. The main reason he is in here is to search you basic lands. Just because you don't want to miss your Black Source for Falconwrath, and you also don't want to miss your 5th land drop, because that's a big deal in this deck. Like, he is just to ensure land drops, and he's also synergistic with Falconwrath with the counters because he is a human. 4 Gore Clan Rampager. And if I have to tell you why that card's in there, you're either just starting Magic, or you should quit Magic. So that's that guy. And then 4 Falconwrath Aristocrats, also known as Falcon Punch. She provides just a whole entire world of problems for your opponent, mostly because you can't just kill her with, say, Putrefy or Supreme Verdict. A lot of times even blocking won't kill her because you can sack to make her indestructible. So the only way they can really deal with her is Exile or Terminus, which is really good for you. Also Tragic Slip on the Morbid trigger will kill her. Or actually, just a regular Tragic Slip will kill her. But she just provides a lot of damage and pressure, and is very evasive with flying and the sack mechanic, so she's really good. And then your big finisher, which is the scariest card in this deck, 4 Thundermaw Hellkite. Card's just insane. He does everything you want him to do. He's a huge body. He has haste. He taps flyers. He kills Lingering Souls tokens. Like any hint of stabilization, he just kind of goes over it or taps it. So he's very good. Probably the scariest thing in this entire deck, the Red Eyes Black Dragon. That's it for my creature lineup, and I also play 6 like normal actual spells. 2 of them being Dread Wars, just because anything that I'm scared of is usually like an Angel of Serenity or a Planeswalker. So Dreadbore gets those out of the way, and we have these over Abrupt Decays because, like I said, most of the things you're scared of are bigger, like Angel of Serenity. That and anything you're going to kill, you're probably going to kill at sorcery speed anyway, because you're not going to have just like 10 mana at your disposal to play like 2 spells and then cast something at the end of their turn. Like, you're normally going to have 5, maybe 6 mana by the end of a game. If you even stay in the game that long, you'll probably kill them by then. And also this gets rid of early problem cards like Boros Reckoner and things like that. So this card's really good in this deck. And then the last spell I play is 4 copies of Bonfire of the Unfair. Everyone knows why this card's unfair. Like, the Miracle is just insane. Also, it's a good card to open with, I believe. Especially game 2 and 3, knowing what you're playing against, like in an aggro mirror, because you can bonfire for 1 or 2 and usually get quite a bit of value out of it. You can set other decks back, like a deck that you can tell is struggling on mana, you can kill their dork or whatever and just really hurt them for the rest of the game. While they're playing catch up, you're just getting farther and farther ahead. So it allows you to snowball harder in a game like that. Also, you can just miracle it for game, like it's happened to almost everybody, and it's the worst feeling in the world, but when you do it, it's really sweet. So, that is the spells, and I have, like, the land base, which is Overgrown Tombs, Stomping Grounds, Blood Crypts, Crags, some basics for Borderland Ranger to search out, and one of Wolf Run that I always forget I play because I never draw it.
Man.
It's Italian. Maybe that's why I don't draw it, because I'm not Italian. But yeah. That's the land base, and that is actually the end of the main deck. So, now we'll move into the sideboard.
Show me the Domries.
First card aside is 2 Domri Raids. I signed Domri for a number of reasons, actually. You have my other Devour Flesh. But, I sided the Domries. A big reason is because, like, granted control is kind of dying down, or has been. It's kind of seeing a little more play now that decks are going more mid-rangey to beat the smaller aggro decks. Domri is a very, very huge problem for control. Like, they have a really, really hard time dealing with Domri. Whether you're fighting, which you're normally not going to do against control because that'd be really bad, unless you're just like trying to kill an aggro to get out of the way so you can do more damage. But his plus ability, just finding you more creatures to throw at them, is very hard for them to deal with. And if you ever ult Domri against control, or really against anything for that matter, you're probably winning that game. Because you've had a Domri on board for 4 or 5 turns. And anything you draw becomes a really huge problem for them. So I really like Domri, and I also bring him in against Reanimator, just for the same reason. Like, me personally, I like it just because you can keep finding problems for them. And it's just, I just think Domri's a powerhouse. I think he's a really good card.
Aggro decks drawing cards.
Yeah. The next card is Grew Up Relentless. He's in here for a lot of the same reasons as Domri, because against control, he's a very, very huge problem for them. Against mid-range, he's also pretty good. Even some of the hyper aggro decks, you can like just kill one of their cheap cards and then flip him. If you can protect them, you can make death-touching wolves and just pick off their board, or you can sack like an Arbor Elf and turn it into a Thundermaw Hellkite. And even if you just leave him on this side, creating a 2/2 wolf every turn isn't bad either. So like, he does a lot of things that you really like him to do. Next card is 2 Pillars. Main reason for the Pillars is basically Voice of Resurgence. And I guess now maybe like Strangleroot Geist and stuff like that are seeing play again. So, entire reason this card is in the side deck though is because of Voice of Resurgence.
What Giraffe's Messenger, bro?
I don't care about that card. 2 Devour Flesh. Basically, the main reason this card's in here is for the Bant Hexproof matchup, or American Hexproof, I guess. Has seen a little bit of play, so just to get rid of Geist, Invisible Stalkers, all that jazz. And it's also pretty solid against Jund. Just because Jund normally commits... By the time I cast this card, like, they'll have maybe Olivia or Sire or something dumb like that out. Like, normally this card is not very good early game because the first play is usually a Huntmaster. So you don't really want to do it then, but like if you trade with the Wolf, you can Devour Flesh the Huntmaster. So like, it's pretty good all game. Like, there's not really a time where it's that terrible. So it's worth siding in. 2 Golgari Charms. Again, main reasoning for this card is Bant Hexproof and or American Hexproof. Just because you can kill their enchantment. And in Bant, like, the only enchantment personally that I'm scared of is Unflinching Courage. Like, they can have Spectral Flame and stuff, I don't care. As long as they're not gaining life, I can still kill them. That and the -1/-1 when they're suiting things up, like an Invisible Stalker or a Fencing Ace. If they commit a Rancor and they have like 2 mana up or 3 mana up, you think they're going to commit some more, like you can just leave the Rancor and then just wait until they commit more to that creature, or you can just kill it right away and have the Rancor fizzle. Like, there's a lot of cool things you can do with the -1/-1 on this card against Bant. And the regen's actually pretty solid too, and like an aggro mirror. Haven't used it that way yet, but it's pretty good. Decided a little more removal in the form of 2 more Dreadbores and an Abrupt Decay. These are basically in the sideboard for the same reason that the 2 are in the main board, because they just kill whatever you want them to, and anything you would possibly be scared of. That, and this is uncounterable, which doesn't usually matter, but still really good.
It's got that.
Like, the main reason is, like I said, killing Angels, Boros Reckoners, because you don't want to get blown out by a Blasphemous Act, because that really is like the worst feeling other than a Bonfire Miracle for game. And then the last card is 2 Appetite for Brains, because the card is kind of nutty against Reanimator and Jund. You just exile their things,
He's hungry.
and they can't cast them, and then they lose the game because your deck's extremely powerful and it's stupid. So, that's it for Jund aggro. Oh, that was a really bad slide. I'm not going to do that again. Jund aggro,
Or
also
Dark
known as
Skies.
Dark Skies, because these 2 make your day pretty crappy if you're on the receiving end of them.
Swing for 9.
Yeah, so that's it. The deck is really, really, really strong. It's very resilient to almost any type of removal, whether it be spot removal, board wipe. The only card that really kind of sucks is Terminus. And even that's not that bad. Like, you can fight through Terminus and stuff. But, deck is really fun. It's really strong. I would recommend it to anybody, whether you're just starting or you've been playing for the past 20 years. So yeah, just pick this deck up, give it a try. Unless you're, like, binder grinding, because then you don't want to trade into cards that are rotating, but whatever. So yeah, that's it.
Doing the deeps.
Caw-caw!